So hi Belinda, welcome back. So this is our second session. Last week we talked a little bit about why you came to therapy, and I think we tried to discuss more about your anger, correct?
Yes.
So how was your week so far?
You know, it was good. I tried to apply some of the things we talked about. I really did, Miss Cecilia. After the session, I was walking, and then this white lady bumped into me when I was trying to get on the trolley, and I was like...
Did you get angry?
You know, I tried really hard not to get angry, but then she didn't say excuse me or anything, so then I had to say something.
Okay.
But I did try.
Okay. But I mean, it's the beginning, so at least you're aware that you need to control your anger. So I guess you're more aware of it.
Yeah.
So this session, I think my plan is for us to just talk more about how you can cope with your anger and how we can deal with it more positively. So if I could ask you, on a scale of 1 through 10, where do you feel like your anger was this past week? 10 being you were very angry, like out of control, and 1 being not so angry, more in control.
I'll say, you know, it's a work in progress, so I'll say I was at a 7. I'm aware of my anger.
Okay, and at a 7. And what makes you think you weren't like an 8?
Because I took my time before I reacted. I did react, but let's say I would have taken a minute to, you know, go off on someone, but this time I kind of thought about what we said, and I was like, I just went to therapy, I have to be calm. So a minute and 5 seconds.
Okay. So you still had an angry outburst, but you were able to think about it more.
Yes.
And usually you weren't able to think about it, and you would just react fast.
No, I would just start popping off.
Okay. So I see it's very difficult for you. Last week we talked about how it's difficult for you because you just got out of jail, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go see my parole officer before I came here today.
And how was that?
You know, it was good. I let him know that I've been trying to get a job and things like that. People don't want to hire you and you just got out of jail. And I don't want people to see me as the angry black female, but I feel like that's what they see me as. But how am I going to get a job?
So you just mentioned that you feel like people see you and will identify you as an angry black female.
Yeah.
And how does that impact your life?
You know, I feel like that's how, ever since I was younger, it's been very hard. Very hard. I try to do good, you know, try to be polite to people like, hey, how are you doing? And then they just have this idea of me. So obviously, if they treat me with disrespect, I'm going to give disrespect back.
Right.
I try to be really nice, but, and then they're like, oh, you're just another angry black female. But it's like, you were doing that first.
So you feel like you kind of treat people the way you've been treated.
Yeah.
And I guess being labeled like that does not help with your anger.
Right.
So I see it's very difficult for you to even probably go outside because you're afraid of being labeled this way, and you are aware of your anger affecting you. So how do you manage to still go about and do your days and everything? Do you have a coping mechanism or anything?
Well, when I was younger, I remember my dad wasn't around, but my mom used to make sure that we went to church every Sunday, and I kind of got away from that a little bit, and I think that's also what led me to jail, and that's where my anger, you know, got really, really bad. When I went to jail, I got some time to myself, and I started to read the Word, and I think that's been really, really helpful. I've been trying to find a church to go to, because when I read the Bible, I become very calm, and I just feel like God is speaking to me, because I know He doesn't want me to be this way.
So it seems like religion is an important part of your life.
Yes.
Do you think that's defines who you are, and how would you be if you didn't have religion? Do you know where you would turn to?
I feel like if I didn't have it, yes, my anger is bad right now, but if I didn't have it, I feel like it would be worse. And I feel like God is telling me that I need to do better. And that's why I'm coming to therapy even, you know, try to get my anger out of control. So with the Word and finding a church to go to, I can meet people. And who knows, they may offer me a job to begin with.
That's good. And so, one of the questions I want to ask you is, in a perfect world, what do you think your life without ever being angry would look like?
In a perfect world, if I didn't have my anger, I think I would have more friends, people who want to be around me, and they wouldn't see me as an angry black female. And they would see me as someone who's actually really, really nice and wants to be around people. And I think in a perfect world, if I didn't have my anger, a lot of the decisions I would make would be beneficial for me and for my mom, you know, because I put her through a lot with my anger.
Do you think that's an unrealistic goal, or is that something that you feel like you can achieve?
I think I can achieve it, but as we talked about last week,
Right.
it's one day at a time.
Exactly, one day at a time.
Yeah.
So in the past week, if you don't mind me asking, how many times do you feel like you had an angry outburst, like out of the 7 days?
Let's see, out of the 7 days, so Sunday I was fine, Saturday it was iffy. I'll say 5.
5? Okay. And one of our goals is maybe in like the next 3 or 4 months, do you think we can shrink that down? What would be your ideal number of angry outbursts per week?
You know, let's go for 3.
Let's go for 3. Okay,
Yeah.
3 out of 7. We'll go with that. Okay, so Belinda, we talked a lot about how your anger affects you, and I know you brought up that lady who really annoyed you. And I'm sorry to say that we ran out of time, but how about next session we pick up and talk about how that lady really made you angry?
Sounds
So
good.
next week, same time sounds good?
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I'll be here.
Alrighty, I'll see you next week.
See you next week.